Hello, my dear audiences. Welcome to the show, Check Chow with East West on G&E TV. Like I said 1 million times already, I like this job. It's not a job. It's not only a job. It is an opportunity. It is a privilege for me to see face-to-face all kinds of different people, especially VIPs, so VIP that in the day-to-day life, you don't want to see them. You don't think that you can see them every day, right? So today, joining me is one great individual, and he was, back in his time, those dark days when we were so discriminated, when people were so discriminated by his colors, by judgment of his colors. And he was not even in a position be recognized as a student qualified to be sitting next together with a white guy. And none of the white guys would choose to sit next to him. So he started himself from that point on. And you know what he ends up with? He ends up the richest man on earth possible, at least one of them. And in between, he was recognized. He was first nominated and appointed by President Jimmy Carter, former President Jimmy Carter, as the Assistant Secretary for Policies and International Affairs. And I would say he deserves an honorable position. And yet, to these days, he established company after company after company, sold one after another, and he is now doing the cloud business. Yes. What the people call cloud business, cloud business. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with me is a great gentleman. He is Honorable Mr. Chester Davenport.
Thank you, Jack, for the accolades.
Welcome, sir, to my show. I feel excited to have this opportunity to talk to you face to face.
Well,
thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, good. I understand, as I briefed you before the show, right, and the objective of this show is to borrow your story as an eye-opener, as a mind-opener for young people.
Right.
Because, you know, nowadays in the digital world, when they have so many gadgets to play with, their minds need something to hang on to, right? So that's why, with your permission, I have to borrow your story to pass to them, okay, to my audiences, so that they see some, role model.
Right.
So am I doing the right thing?
So yes.
All right, good.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, I learned that when you started your first law school, Georgia Law School, right?
Yes.
And it was so dark days when discrimination so prevailing that you had even difficulties sitting in a proper seat, in the classroom.
Right.
Yeah. How was that, please?
Well, basically, what happened was that the first day, the class was in a fairly large classroom with room for 50 maybe. And so since it was the first day and I knew nothing about the law school, I found the first class and I sat like in the middle of the auditorium, and then I was early, so and I wasn't noticing anything. It's just early, and then the class started. I looked up, and there was no one within 15 seats of me on either side.
All right.
Like I'm here.
Yeah, they're exactly, away from you.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. And of course, you were recognized soon after because of your academic performance.
Yes.
And you prove yourself to be the best, right? And within, like say, as short as 2 months or something, upon to my homework, wow, that you were the third of the whole class, right? Then at this moment, everybody wants to sit next to you because they can benefit from it. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened?
What happened was that I think there was a interim test on one course. I think it was agency.
I see.
And they posted the grades, and the professor, it was posted by number. And the professor told the class that, well, some of you did very well, some of you did not. And if I were you, if you didn't do well, I would try to find some of the people who did do well and talk to them.
Okay.
And so through whatever mysteries happened, they figured out the numbers and whose number. And so the very next day, I was sitting in the library, and all of these people, with my classmates, then came up to me to talk about how to write their exam.
Yes.
And so that's how I ended up really talking to the first people there, because of that, the academic.
Yeah, and one of the articles that I read, one of the article about you that I read, describing about that moment that you feel rejoiced because you did not only achieve your academic scores, but you made lots of friends.
Yes,
time,
I did,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Not only that, many, many years later, when President Obama, Barack Obama, revisited the school and was Morehouse College. And he says, I know Chester Davenport is here. So where are you?
I know.
That kind, right?
I know.
So
That's true.
Well, tell me that story, please.
Well, it was at my college's commencement, and the president was speaking, and I didn't know whether he was going to. I didn't know whether he was really going to mention my name, and it was raining very hard, so I was kind of near. I was outside listening to him, but there was by the time he was talking about me, it was raining very hard, so I went inside just for 1 second, and then when I walked out, everybody said, well, the president's looking for you. I said, okay.
How did he know that you were there?
I believe the school probably told him that I was.
People told him that
yeah,
you were
I think
there,
that maybe the college probably told him that I was going to be there. And I was a big supporter, of course, of the president.
Of course.
And so I was really appreciative when he said what he said about me. So I really appreciated that.
So what time is changing so rapidly. From the time that we cannot sit together with some white people, to the time we can recognize everybody, we can even have a black man as President of the United States,
right.
All right, and then have him looking for you, Chester. Where are you? Like that kind of thing. So, well, it is amazing how big different time can make.
Exactly.
However, it's a long way to go.
Absolutely,
it's a long way to go. So, I may ask you with lots of respect, right? Do you feel in your mind, the bottom of your mind, that equality is achieved? No more discriminations, that is to say. Do you feel that way?
I think there are subtle forms of discrimination. I think that the meritocracy that I would seek is not there. I think that there's a lot of progress, though. I mean, it's not like there's nothing that's happened. But I do think that, and maybe this is just me, but I feel that you have to still do much better. We really at the top of your game to really get what you need to get. I think there's still that, not only, everywhere. I think it's probably less so on Wall Street, where there's money involved. I mean, I found probably less of that there than any other place.
In Wall Street, you taught them how to do business. I read that, right? So, talking about color being not only recognized, discriminated. That's the part. Now people with closed eyes say, hey, equality is the key. Equality is what we're talking about. Are we talking about equality seriously? So that is my question.
Well, I mean, I think that nothing is found here. It's not total equality. Now, no, there's no way there's total equality. I think that there are opportunities to make your way and to do much better.
Sure.
And it's almost as if prior to the big civil rights movement, the African Americans in this country might as well have not been here as far as the capitalist system is concerned. they're like
Yeah,
immigrants.
yeah,
So
yeah,
once they had the opportunity to participate, it's like coming from another country. Even though they were here, they were not here.
Exactly, exactly. Like a quote from Dr. King, I have a dream.
Right.
Yeah? You have your dream realized, however, not without paying extra.
Of course.
Right. I read about your homework, and I read somehow you said, if I had been white, I would have been 10 times better than I am. What do you mean by that?
Is that the story from the New York Times?
Yeah, the time. Oh, yeah. What did you tell them?
Well, they were talking about, the money, and it was a big deal that we had done. And I think the reporter was making a big deal about all the money.
It is a big deal, of course.
And then I said, yeah, but, if I were white, I would have, I may have used the word 100 times this much money. And so, and I meant that. I mean, I think that's correct. I think that there is that kind of, what happens, I believe, is that you, without the connections from the time that you were born, in other words, being born in the right place, and doing everything that you have to do. And a lot of people in this country, obviously, whether they are African American or white or whatever, they still go through that. But I think that it's still much easier in this country if you were
And
white.
we have to give the credit to people before us. Anybody who fought for today's being has contributed to the great cause until where we are now.
Right.
Right. However, to this point, though, we can't say equality has finally been totally realized. Well, anyway, let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we'll find out from this great man of our time, Mr. Chester Davenport. Honorable Chester Davenport, please.